take long. Well, another day, another dollar. We've been hauling corn, and we've got 15,000 bushels left. Not so cold today. Kind of look the truck over, make sure we don't have anything wild going on. That way he can just leave when he gets here and be warmed up. Alright, found a flat tire. That didn't take long. Well, we don't want to get it off the rim, and my fuel trailer's locked in. My Haggie's not going to start. The battery's low. I've got a 110 air compressor that I got at John Deere when it was on sale, and it's going to save the day. Don't be making fun of my green air compressor now. A little 110 air compressor is kind of handy for something like this. This cord got ran over, so it was shorting out, wouldn't run, and we needed a different attachment. Couldn't quite get to it. I'll go ahead and get one of those while we're here too. John Deere 110 for the win. It's a lot better than going around and popping it off the rim. I don't want to do that, so this is a better alternative. We'll get enough air in it to get to the shop, and we'll get it on the big compressor. Okay, we're going to try this again. Got Brennan aired up. We're going to fix that. The boat's been having reduced hours. We're going to fix it on a day that the hours are reduced. I don't see it leaking bad. It must be a slow leak. Those slow leaks sometimes are worse than the bad ones. It's mud season. It's going to be what it is for a while. Always is this time of year. See our tarp. Got one ordered. Pole broke from ice being on the tarp, and it just twisted it in half. Came into our shop and our toolbox was laying on the floor. It bent some of the drawers. Not overall bad. We've been doing some straightening. It's a little too discouraged to video that part, but it appears that it works. So I think we saved it. We're going to attempt to set the head down and get it off this adapter. When we get off this adapter, we can do our center belt here. It's a lot easier. We've got loose in the front. Just the only thing is it's tilted forward, and it's supposed to be level, and I've already got the lines off, so I think it'll work out. We're going to try it. It's always cool to get in the combine. See how this goes. I check for coons, but there won't be in the shop, but. Well, that's the first step. Now this is a 2017 S680. It's got a 2630 monitor in it. Hooked up to a 45-foot Macdon. That's a 2015. And I think we can set it down and back up. We're going to attempt this. Blocks under it. This piece here we got off, so our adapter's about off. I'll try to set it down again. Sometimes these adapters, they don't want to let go real easy. It should come off though. We'll try this again. This still doesn't want to let go. We're going to try a different combination of blocks real quick. I think it's just trying to tilt forward on us. Maybe if we get one of those smaller blocks under each end, I'm going to have to raise you up. So now it tries to tilt forward. Those should try to hold it. Done this a couple of times, but we don't do it every day. We're backing out. And that is how you unhook an adapter. I'm trying to figure out if we want to back it out. I've got to start another semi. I can't get out. It's going to be easier if we take the blow gun and clean it off a bit. I'll back on up just a little. We're going to do the center belt, just inspect the adapter. Might just slide off there. This is going to be a lot easier to replace with it out. And these FD75s, you could tell if they were done. They've got a gray motor, and that means they've been updated. They had a bad set of motors on these when they first come out, and it would cavitate the motor, and well, get all that debris in your system, because see, your oil is all in here for your Macdon, and it's all self-contained. The only way the combine touches the Macdon's here, and that's on your reel and your tilt. Everything else, it runs its pumps off this, PTO off the combine to the pumps. So that's where it does all its pumping instead of the combine doing it. Then the lines run up the side right here. As you can see, we'll reconnect lines right here, and our lines run all the way down, and it's going to service your motor, and your motor runs your wobble box. It also services your reel, and that's going to run up there. And if you look to the center, got motors that drive your reel right there. There's a chain in there, but that's all running off of that hydraulic system. Not a lot to them when you start taking them apart. We'll inspect the bearings, and this belt just, it's not all the way out, but it's due. When they start slipping, it's a pill to fix them in season. Another thing we can do is, if we did it in season, a lot of times you'll get a rock or something, you can see all the spots, but the chain is inside here. Now we did that in the field, but while I've got it out, I'll take that off, and we're going to look and see what that looks like inside there. And just cleaning debris off of everything that you see and inspecting things. Generally always find something. Run all the tension off of it, then we'll back it out and pull the pan and blow it out. This will take tension off the belt. It just loosened up, so should be got good. There we go. No pressure. We'll back it out. Here's our bar we're looking for to split that belt. We're going to rotate that around the top. We're going to work on our belt. Right there should be. So we take each one of these off. That will split this belt. We'll get our new one and we assemble it the same way. After we get the new one on, we'll go over here and we'll retighten. I was lucky enough to have that one on the shelf. What did we do before those little impacts? Disliked life. Makes it pretty nice. Now see these belts rip on the ends. They're not bad. They run a long time that way, but we have time to do this one right now. It's the time to do it. I don't want to be doing it in the field. A little bit of a bear to deal with, but just kind of working a little bit at a time there. There. We're making that look easy. So when you put the adapter on, these clamp down and go over center. You can see the nut that's used to pull that. This is what turns your, well, this is your roller for your belt. This is too, but it turns off the motor right there. Let's get the air to blow this off. Can't even make this up. I go to pull the air hose and the hose reel, I don't know. Once again, another one of those phenomenons. Empty grease guns, air hoses that are tangled or broken. Happens a lot.
And I'm wondering, is it going to be easier to go up through or down through?
Probably down, let gravity help us, was what I was thinking, but then it's curled from being rolled up. I should have unrolled it. Yours almost is. Mine was. Yeah. There, let's get the bolts up on the top. They're a little easier to work with. We are below, we need to be above that. I'd like to get this done. We'll get this head off, put it up, put our new head up, get our corn head serviced so we can put it away, and we'll start getting our planters out. Planters have been gone through last summer to a certain degree before we put them up. We're gaining. Getting the nuts back on, squeezing it together. Then this new belt, we'll have to tension it. We'll also have to tension it again, but we'll get down here and level these out so the belt tracks in the center. If I twist one of these off, we're both gonna hate it. So that's how we put our belt together. But on a center, if it's damaged and it's off season, we just replace them. This center, you'll look down, the beans will be piled up and it'll just start slipping. As soon as that happens, you're hurting. So I like to have them good. I probably wasn't tight, but they're just not very big. I hate to pull on them very much. See, I got a torque wrench built into my elbow. I'll drag all that and I'll break one off.
Yeah,
I better just.
Will be the bull.
I better just be silent. Yeah. Now we'll just get the book out, do procedure on tightening the belt. Not that we don't know, but we can do it exact. I'd say we're good. New belt is on. We work the tension right here. We'll move this roller here forward and tension your belt. When that goes forward, it tightens that belt. This little lever here hooks under these, puts this up. So in the field, this is protecting your belt so nothing's getting drug on there, because this runs right on the ground. Procedure right there. Slide your way, Brennan.
More. Oh, no, right there.
Get it?
Maybe.
Okay. We found a broken piece. There's a bumper that the head sets on that's connected to the adapter. Oh, I think I can just weld it. Show you what we're looking at. So on this side, you can see this piece, it just kind of sits there. Well, it's got metal underneath on this side, and that's broke. It's just thin metal that just sets. So what I'm going to do is weld these pieces back together. And here's our other piece. So it broke that piece of metal he's working on, and it broke this. And this is just that bump rubber. Now it appears we can put this back together, do a couple welds there on this metal, and then I can just weld some, and it'll burn a little rubber, but not bad, and get this back connected. It's in good shape other than that. Head just sits on it, so we'll fix that before we put it back in. Fixing that shouldn't be too bad. Get my welder out. Something like that. Oh, I usually use a 6011. I've got a lot of those somebody gave me, so still burning those up. But that works really good on dirty metal like this. It's not real thick, so I'm not going to turn my amperage way up, but see what we can do. So here's our pieces. We're just going to put a little weld on there. We'll go ahead and get the grinder out. And then a little weld there. We should be able to get that. Nothing too fancy. Cooling it down. Had a little rubber fire. We got by with it though. Fixed. Fix anything but a broken heart, weld anything except the crack of dawn. If you have a problem, we will solve it. We're just having too much fun today. We did this chain in the field last year. It broke when we got a rock. It's tight, but we're just going to snug it a little bit for good measure. Everything looks good in there. I'm going to put a little lube on it. Oh, I guess that'll be okay. Can't hurt anything. It's going to be setting. It'll dry out. We'll spray lube on the chain. This is not fun to change in the field. And neither of these. I've done those a few times in the field. Lay under here in the dark and reach up. Just a little bit of play. Perfect. Well, we got it on. We ended up having to tie off to the forklift on one side, but it went ahead and slid on. Now, when we took it off, we took the lines off, and we didn't level the head out. So I was looking right now. We're in with our adapter. Walk around up there. Okay. You can see our adapter's almost in. That's the belt we just put on earlier. And these two pieces just clamp on this bar. And there's a pin up there that he put in on the cylinder, and that's what holds this head on. There's not much. There's also these go underneath on our adapter, and it keeps it from being able to come out. So, two of those, this clamp, and the head will be on. We're going to hook our lines up. They just hook right here. And that hooks this adapter to the head. Then our normal setups are multi-point for the combine. So you go combine to here, and then that multi-point hooks us up to all the rest of the features here. I did not level this out. He put this pin in, and that's going to allow this head to tilt off this cylinder. Well, right now I just need to level it out some because our adapter's on the wrong angle. As soon as we had the lines off, I already knew that we should have leveled that off, and we didn't, but it's part of it. I think we're going to get by with it. We had to use those chains in a couple things, but it's looking good now. With the lines on, that will allow us to tilt that. That's going to fix our problem. I'm going to hook our 04 up to our old Tempty. This is an 87 Tempty. I've had some work done on it. Put a new fifth wheel plate in. So what happens on these trailers, we'll hop underneath here. Let me show you what I'm looking at. So this plate here, we had redone. These rust out, and as soon as you put a new plate in, you're pretty good. You got to watch those. We also had a couple areas on a spring hanger in the back. Yeah, did a little patching on. So not bad. It's not a perfect trailer, but overall in good condition. We've had it since 2009. By doing the plate, you can get a lot of life out of the trailer still. The negative to these is the ground clearance. The trailers that are like this, you'll see them, those are lower ground clearance trailer, more like a commodity trailer. So makes them cheap. That's kind of why we have it. It's always a good idea to inspect. Look things around. I've been looking at the truck. Now the next thing on the list, we'll put some grease on the fifth wheel. I just use the grease gun we grease everything with. Squirt a little on there. Probably use it as we're hauling beans. We haul, we're about a 45-minute drive to where we haul beans. So it'd be nice having that third truck hooked up. Ethanol plant's closed today, so kind of a slow day. Get some things done around the shop. Grease guns, we've got you covered. And of course we pull to see which one has some grease in it. We have a winner. Everybody already knows most of the grease guns are empty. Don't know how that happens, right? Dead battery. If we're not out of grease, we're out of battery. Always like to kind of just give it a little smearing. Now we'll back underneath there. So here's your fifth wheel pin. Your jaws will slide in right here. Now as I look up underneath the front of the trailer, a lot of the debris gets caught in here. We wash these out. Another reason not to run in the salt. Your salt, it sets up on top of this metal and rusts it out. Your aluminum through here, but your steel here, your tires throw stuff up. Now I know they make wraparound fenders, but if you price a set of those, you'll see why we don't have them. They're pretty expensive. And what we typically do, we'll drop the air ride on the truck and then we can just back under. This truck, the fifth wheel sets up on it, and we choose this truck because of this low hanging trailer. The hoppers are lower on it. Now as soon as I backed under, I hit the air ride and raised, and it saves me from having to crank hard on the jack. So we just crank our dollies up. Now my favorite thing to use, I use a little silicone spray. Makes it a lot easier to get your glads on. You always inspect these rubbers. Now there's red as I go red is right. That's how I always remember, because there's the blue one, so it's obviously not going to be on the right. Now that one is questionable. We'll go ahead and run it, but if it leaks a little bit, that'd be the first one we check, take off. Get those to seal up real nice. Now here is our electric tarp. It plugs in right here. And our lights. Bada bing. Our lights are right here. And that is how you hook up a semi-trailer. The wind has gotten our tarp. It's in bad shape anyway. Whew. I guess we're getting a new tarp. We broke our tube, and there's a splice kit that you guys make. Yeah. Yeah, that splice kit will work great. Yeah, give me 2 of those. This has happened before. Sometimes just keeping parts ordered, things in line for us to do. Tarp being a week out, so glad we got that ordered. I didn't video the battle getting this thing undone, but we'll take a look here and show you what we got to do. Now, all of our trailers now have this set up on them. I think you can see. And anyway, you pull a pin on that, and this tube pops, and you pull that tarp off there. Before, the old way, they run screws in the side, and those screws the holes would strip. And every time you did a tarp, you had to unscrew those, and you knew you'd lose some, so you move them over. guess that's been a long time that we did that. A long time ago we did that, but this tarp was ripped pretty bad, so it's good to get another one coming. Took my truck for a drive and I found the mirrors broke off. That happened in a previous video, the auction video. Maybe I can link that up there. We'll see if I can do that. So I'm gonna fix that mirror. You can get them online pretty cheap. They're just a pain. Have to take the door apart. I've already started. All these little trim pieces. I'm just always afraid to be too rough with those. We'll go ahead and get this opened up. They've shipped it. Has a new piece there. Should just be plug and play. Okay. Has the turn signal in the mirror. I think that's going to be my biggest challenge. Okay. I just cut that off. That's what it is. Also on my Ranger, I always keep that set was in my Ranger.
Let's unplug all the switches here. We'll start with the lock switch. Someone's clearly been in here before, so I'm going to be careful
YouTube
with
helps
this
with
one.
this little stuff.
Pry up on that little tab
I mean,
and push it off of here.
Some of these little
The master
tabs, you
window
just break
switch,
them if you don't know where to pull.
and then the mirror switch.
Had a bolt there. There's one right here, it's being a pill, and two right there. I should be able to get this handle off and get into some of the electric stuff there. When it was broke off and I needed to leave in a hurry, I just ripped it the rest of the way off and cut the wire off. I need to break something like this. Okay, so the power mirror. Okay. We'll figure this out. I've got to figure out which harness has been cut off out here. I have to get these three out. And it will take this base off. The new base is there. I actually broke the base right there. It's going to turn on me, of course. Pretty easy. Easy deal there. At least they made the hole oversized, so it's easy to get it in there. Get in there. There. All the nuts, three of them are started, and I'm going to run this wire. I'm going to hook it to this wire. Just get it good and taped. Not on the end, but on the wire. Yeah, just kind of round it off there. There we go. I'll just untape it. Now it has a couple of these wire holders. They're actually in the right spot. These factory replacement guys are pretty good. There. Now, here we stuffed the foam. It had some foam. It was just stuffed in there. I'm going to get that. A little bit primitive, and one trim piece was broken right there. But overall, I've just got to put the screws back in. I think I've got this thing. Man, it's going to be nice to have a mirror again. Well, the help just arrived. And He is simply.
I like footprint.
Found footprint.
There's raccoon poop right over there.
Found the raccoon poop.
Went ahead and started it. Put the handle back on, just gotta tighten those. And these down here and put the trim pieces on. Let's see if my turn signal works.